Kia ora everybody, welcome or welcome back to the channel and to the colouring community's favourite video of the month, completed pages. So I have a video for you. If you're new here, by the way, my name's Amy. Kia ora, welcome in. Interesting video for you to stumble upon. Not really, it's most people's favourite video in the colouring community. But I have here a very messy journal because I don't keep this very tidy. Some months it's tidy and some months it's this. So yeah, we have a little bit to go through. So I did not complete a single page in September. So this is also October's completed pages. At one point I wasn't even using the journal, I was just writing it on scrap paper, which is why all this is here. Yeah, this is a mess, but hey, we recorded. Although I did forget to record one page, which I found when I was organising for this video, which cracked me up immensely. Anyway, I have for you today 27 pages, which for me, over 2 months, that is such a small amount. That is just for me and my colouring. However, the last couple of months have been very all over the place. In August, we had my biggest month ever, where I did 101 pages. And then September didn't complete a single page, and so in October I just rolled everything over and carried on with it and managed to finish off a lot of the chaos that I'd started in September. There's some stuff that I didn't finish, and it's okay, but yeah, I'm just pleased that I managed to get done what I got done. So yeah, not a huge amount for me, but still a reasonable amount. I mean, completing no pages is still valid. Completing 100 pages is valid. Completing 1 page is valid. As long as you are happy with what you're doing and you're getting out of your colouring what you need, which in the month of August, I needed a ton of colouring. I needed that creativity. I needed to tune out pages. In September, I needed to not colour. I needed to zone out and not think. And then in October, I kind of put it away at colouring. I did a little bit, but I didn't always need to colour, you know? I took my time because it was just like, wasn't always about the colouring. So yeah, that was a good amount to get done. I did work in 14 new books, which cool. We're slowly whittling through our book collection. So so 14 new books. I also managed to finish off a whip that had rolled over from August. So that was cool. So I did also create 3 new whips, which is a lot less than I thought I was going to create. So my whip total is 8. So we're still keeping with that single figure total. We're not at over 9 whips. We're still keeping it around there. I'd like to get a bit more. A couple of them knocked out this month, which I think I will. But yeah, we're getting up there in the whip, but we're still under 9, which is cool. I received or brought 19 new books. I did get a bunch of happy mail, and I also found 3 secondhand books that were brand new, Dover books. So they're like The Adventures of Hercules, Ulysses, and Life in Ancient Greece. So that was really cool to stumble across. And I did purchase a couple of new books as well. So I have 19 new books that I added to the shelf, which means my total book collection is 425 books now. And I have worked in 361 of those, which means my total of worked is 84.9%, which has gone down by 0.2%, but that's pretty good for how many new books we got in. Like, it's pretty good. We're still like hovering around that 85% completion. We did manage to get up to, I think, 96% at one point, but then I got a bunch of new books in. But it's going back up. Like, they will get worked eventually, so I'm not too worried. But yeah, if, more interesting facts if you could read my atrocious writing. Honestly, like, when it comes to my journal, I just write in here for me. Some months I'm a little bit more pedantic with my writing, and then some months it's just like slap it in and hope for the best. So yeah, I don't worry too much about it because you're not here to see my journal, you're here to see my pages. And so my whips are kind of mixed in with my pages themselves, so we'll just go through it as we go through it. So the first one I'll start off with is 50 Zodiac themed miniatures by Camellia Andrzejkova. I haven't posted any of these, but I coloured this because of Jess's hashtag, Jess at Colouring Bumblebee, which is I can't remember the actual hashtag, but basically she's running a buddy colour hashtag where every month you complete 2 pages. So at the moment it's the star sign and then the chibi Chinese zodiac sign, and then once that's completed this year we'll swap over next year and do the other way around, so the mini chibi zodiac signs and then the Chinese zodiac signs. So yeah, really lucky to be able to actually have the book and participate in it. So I was a month behind, so not only did I do this month's, which was the Libra, I also caught up on last month's, which was the Virgo. I still have a few more to catch up on. I'm getting there. And if you saw my Locked in the Art Room for 12 Hours video, this is, I did complete all of these in this video. So this is alcohol marker as a base with some polychromos pencils for shading and super golden markers on it for the shine. I tend to keep them pretty simple, but I do like how they come together. And then it's the same again here. We've got alcohol markers for the base, polychromos for shading. I did use a white gel pen here. Did I use white gel pen there? I did. And super golden markers. So, yeah. And then the little bookmark that's there is for this month, which is Scorpio, which is in my plans. Plus I'd like to try and go back and catch up on some as well. And then on the the chibi Chinese zodiac ones, we have the chibi snake. So this one again uses alcohol markers, polychromos pencils. I did use a white gel pen, and I did use a little bit of Mod Podge sparkle to add a bit of glitter. And then we have the chibi horse as well, which once again, alcohol markers, polychromos pencils, white gel pen, and Mod Podge sparkle. So yeah, they're really simple but cute. I have just absolutely fallen in love with Camellia Andrzejkova. I think her work is gorgeous and really enjoying it. So those are the 4 that I did in Camellia Andrzejkova's Zodiac themed miniatures. Sorry, I'm trying not to be too sniffly and coughy. Hopefully we're not too bad. I may have to have a throat lozenge at some point too. And then on that same video, you would have seen me also complete the 50 Ghostly Cute miniatures. I did a page in here, which is the Rhino Shark page. I just thought this would be a really cute page given the season. There's a lot in here that I could have done for Halloween, and I just did not get back to this book. But I'm happy I at least got one done in here, and I love that these ones all come with the black background, so I love to put Mod Podge sparkle over it and make that black background really sparkly. Done the same thing with the carrot here. But yeah, I was calling this my Rhino Shark, because I think he's wearing a shark costume. I probably should have kept the feet green, but I kind of like the idea that it's a feetsies onesie type thing as well. But yeah, I did this with alcohol markers, a white gel pen, polychromos pencils for shading, and then the Mod Podge sparkle for in here. And the stars and dots in the background were done with a super golden marker before I put down the Mod Podge sparkle. But yeah, it's getting with all the alcohol marker stuff that you're going to see this month, my random tub of alcohol markers is getting very low. And I don't know if I have the funds to... The idea was to use up all these alcohol markers and then slowly replace them with Copics. And I do have some Copics, but I don't know if I have the funds to do that anytime soon. Because Copics are refillable and I can access the refills here in New Zealand. That's why I was going Copics. I love Ohuhus as well. They're just... The refills are not accessible to me in New Zealand, so... yeah, but then because I'm running so low on alcohol markers, part of me is like, maybe I just need to order a big cheap set to get me through, because there's no qualms for me using the cheap sets. Like, I can still do a lot with the cheap sets. But yeah, I'm getting to the point where I'm very desperate for certain colours now. I think I've got one yellow left. My blues have been running low for a long time, and I'm noticing my reds are starting to go. I still have a lot of like these ugly peachy brown colours, so yeah, and like poop green basically. Like these poopy greeny browns and greys. I have a few of them because it came with such a big neutrals, this big set that I had. So that's what I've got a lot of, and I tend to gravitate towards bright colours. So yeah, I will figure it out. One way I've been using a lot of them up is in the 50 monster themed miniatures coloring book by Camellia and Jacova. Because when I come in here, what I tend to do, this is a good example of me using lots of the browns, is I tend to just grab out 5 random colours, and then I have to make it work. And sometimes I'll add in additional colours, but sometimes I will just make the 5 colours that I pull the colours I have to make work for the page. And because these ones are monsters, it works really well as sort of like a random challenge to just use up different colors. Like this one here, each one of these I pulled 5 markers for, so they're each their own little challenge. So yeah, I've been enjoying that to get this book used up, get them used up, and I've actually ended up doing quite a few in here, so I'm probably going to carry on with that next month to keep on using up these really old markers. But in that same video of me locking myself in my art room, I also did a couple pages in here. So I did this first page. So I used alcohol markers, polychromos pencils, a white gel pen. I never coloured in the key. I just noticed that. We're going to keep you in there. I'll just grab a super golden marker and quickly fill that in. Let's do that now before I forget. All right, there we go. The amount of color completed pages where I've had to go in and add one little dot. I've known a lot of this. I've seen a couple videos recently where the same things happen to other colorists where they've gone to do something and they find the page and like, darn, I forgot to color that one little bit. It's easy enough to do. But yeah, now the page also has more super golden marker, and yeah, I do like my little cover page there. Just carefully so it doesn't stick together. And then I also did the book belongs to page, which again, alcohol markers, polychromos pencils, some metallic pens, a little bit of white gel pen. Yeah, it's a super golden on the flowers bits as well. So yeah, quite simple, but comes together. So I just did those two because they're the first 2 uncoloured ones in order. This is the next one, which I think there'll be a great way to use up some greys. So I think I'll get to that one soon, and then probably do that one. And then I have just like this big run of completed, and then I'll probably just work in order or maybe work at the back of what inspires me. I don't know, but I would like to get some more done in here because they're cute, they're fun to colour, they're relatively quick, and like I said, great way to use up my old markers. So it's 50 monster themed miniatures by Camellia and Jacova. Just going to leave that one open to the side so it dries. Alright, and then the other things that you would have seen in the locking myself in video is Mini Mania. Now, you wouldn't have seen Mini Mania 4. I actually entirely forgot that I had done a page of Mini Mania 4 until I was filming this. I had to go and adjust all my finished stats. But yeah, in the video, I did work on 2 and 5. So I'll show you volume 5 first. And we have this page here. So I'd already pre-based the page with granulating watercolors. by Ganzai Tambi. I have found, so set 2, which I believe, I was going to say the Aurora set, but I don't actually know if that's right. But anyway, set 2, compared to set 1, it doesn't granulate as much. And I've heard this from a lot of people where they just were very disappointed in set 2. So what I have been doing is I have actually been mixing multiple colours. Is this set 1 or set 2? This is set 1, I believe. You can see how hammered my sets are getting. But if this is set 2, I would literally get all of them going. Maybe not the purple, because the purple in it's really good. This is what set 2 is. So I feel like this colour does granulate, but the rest of these don't really granulate too badly and too well in set 2. So what I've been doing is turning all these on, putting a bit of water, getting them going, and then using all 4 colours. And by blending the colours, they all granulate with each other, but granulate within themselves. I find I get a lot better results. So yeah, I don't know if that works for anyone else, but it's been working for me for using that set and getting granulation. And then I also chuck in a little bit of shimmery watercolour. I just have these like cheap ones that I got off AliExpress that I just drop in. They work well. So that's how I did all the background, and it's so shimmery, and I love it. I love shimmer. And then on top of it, I worked in Pablo pencils to colour in the page. There is some paint pen or white gel pen, and there's also some stickles on top of the page, which I put so much on. This one up here, it's so thick. And then there's some white ink splatter on top as well, because I also quite like splatter. Yeah, I really like how that came together. Like, I love how shimmery, sparkly the page is, and surprisingly fun for how much of it is just leaves. I wouldn't think leaves would be that exciting to colour, but I really enjoyed that one. So that's my page in Mini Mania Volume 5. Excuse me. And then in Mini Mania Volume 2, I have a completed page of this one here, which this is so full and so gorgeous. And once again, you can see that granulated background and how the different colours. So yeah, this one is once again the granulating watercolours, and then Pablo coloured pencils, a little bit of white gel pen, and a little bit of super golden markers for a couple of details, but pretty straightforward for the actual colouring. There is also some, sorry, I'm just going to remove that bookmark. There is also some shimmer in the background as well. But yeah, I really love this one. This one makes me very happy. But when I was basing this one, I had a protection sheet underneath because, you know, using watercolour, and the sheet had was plastic, and you can see where this kind of buckled and creased. So I was going to straighten it out, and the whole thing, because the paper was so saturated, just came out of the book, and then the watercolour just went running onto this page here. So I did end up having to base the page underneath because of all the disasters that happened. So I've still got to figure out how I'm going to stick this back in. I'll probably just grab some washi and stick that down and then adhere that into the book. But I don't want to do that until I finish this page. So this is the second one that I had to base. I did a lighter wash in the background of this one with the Ganzai Tambi. And it has got just a couple of bits of shimmer on it just because it came through as well. And then so this one is a whip. This one will be rolling over. I didn't finish this one. I have just grabbed some alcohol markers and just started basing out some colours on this one. But as you can see, I haven't progressed very far on this one, so I've still got a while to go. But yeah, it is a very cute page. I really do love Mini Mania, so I'm hoping to show them a bit more love. So I don't mind having a whip in number 2. So hopefully we'll get to that soon. And then the other one that I did, which is in volume 4, which I didn't do as part of the Lock Myself In challenge, but I did before the challenge, was this one here, which I had entirely forgotten that I had done, but I also really love how this one turned out. So this one, I again used the Gansai Tambi in the background, and then I used paint pens to actually colour the page in. So all this has been done with paint pens, and this is paint pens and various gel pens, and then for blacking this out, this is all black acrylic paint. So there's no actual pencil on this page. It's all done with pens, like paint pens and gel pens and sparkle pens. There's also a bit of Mod Podge sparkle for like on the stars and stuff like that. So it's super shimmery, but I do love my sparkly pages. And yeah, the paint pen was really fun to sort of bring together. It does, because especially because I use watercolor on the page, a lot of the paper is a bit lifty, so it was a bit, you know, it's not the smoothest, but I kind of think it works. I enjoyed it anyway, and that's the main thing. So yeah, that was my page in Mini Mania Volume 4. And now Mini Manias Volume 1 to 6, all of them have at least one page done, which is great. That's what we like. Alright. And then, keeping with the Amazon printed books, I have Tiny Magical Illustrations by Rada Prince, who I absolutely adore, and oh, I want to get so much more of her work. I've realized that she does have other books, but she often has it under different names. Like there's Rada Prince, there's like a full other name. Der World Nature is a book by her that looks stunning. She has another one that's like Cozy Spaces. She has quite a few different books. They're not linked under one illustrator, which makes it quite difficult. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm very, very grateful to have this one, and I have a bunch of PDFs of hers, including her bookmarks and stuff like that, which I've been turning into bookmarks. So I've got plenty of her work to colour. But this book here is a really cute one if you just like lots of little elements on a page to colour. I thought it was a really neat one to colour. And so I did the sea life page. Now this one was a really interesting approach to colour, and at first glance you might think, yeah, Amy, you haven't even coloured that at all. That's kind of the point. So I used again Gansai Tambi in the background. I believe this is set 1, but I did mix the sets here a bit. And then lots and lots of shimmer in there because it's fun. And then when it came to actually colouring the little illustrations, I pulled out a dark reddish purple, I pulled out a light blue, and I pulled out a yellow. And I wasn't trying to colour the whole thing. I was trying to create a bit of shape, to show some shadowing, to show some highlights, and just to show a little bit of a yellow reflect. So at first glance, when you look at this page, you just see the yellow highlight on each of these creatures, and you think, oh, you've only coloured a little bit of yellow on each of these creatures. But then you look closer and you see the red and the blue because it kind of dissolves into the background. It was just a weird idea that I had, and I was like, I'm going to try it. And I really like how it came together. It may not be everyone's cup of tea in terms of colouring, but I enjoyed it. I did also use a little bit of a really dark violet purple just to shade in some little shadows around to make things pop on the page a bit more. I pulled out a white Prisma to colour in the bubbles. I didn't want them like white of paint pen white, but I did want to lighten them slightly, and then I did add Mod Podge sparkle on top of all the bubbles as well. So yeah, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea in terms of colouring this style, but I had a lot of fun doing this, and it was a great way to just experiment and get a whole page done. And this was an untouched book. So yeah, that is Tiny Magical Illustrations Practice Colouring Book by Rada Prince. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Gorgeous, gorgeous book. In fact, this one here, that's one of the PDFs that I have that I've turned into bookmarks. Okay, so this one is not technically on my whip list. Little bit of a cheat here. I know. Because if you look at the page hasn't been touched. So the book itself has not been touched, but I have done some work in 30 Days of Creativity by Joanna Basford. So this here is a little project book that I have for myself. It's been a while since I've done some work on it, but basically this is like an art journaling coloring book where I might color the elements on the page, but I also use scrapbooking techniques and different approaches to color in the page. In fact, this here you may recognize, this Progress Not Perfection page, because this is also what I have done for the cover of my art journal. So this one's a video on the channel too. I think the only other one I've done, nope, that's in there because I've got an idea for that page, which I will eventually do. There's one more in here, which is actually one my nibblings helped me on. Yeah, I've still got the little post-its covering up their names. But yeah, those are the ones that my nibblings helped me on, which is quite cool. But yeah, I really enjoy this book. Where do I get ideas for it? And it's been a while since I felt inspired to work in the book, which is fine. That's why it's been sitting on the shelf. But then I pulled it out the other day because I got an idea for this candy page. And I was like, that could actually be really cool. So I pulled it out to have it prepared to photocopy it because I tend to work on photocopies and then stick them in. But then as I was looking, I was like, actually, I've got an idea for this one too. And I've got an idea for this one. And I can see what to do for that one. And then that would take us to here. And it would be like this whole run that was done. So I started. So I've still got the florals bloom page to do. I haven't done any work on that one or the vases ones. I've just got the photocopies for those two. But they're there ready to be worked on. But you can see here the candy page. So I found this paper in my collection because I wanted sort of like candy stripes, if that makes sense. Like this to me reads as candy stripes. So the whole page is going to be covered in this. And then I have these bits here. So I'm going to cut around the shelf very carefully and then re-stick that down. And then this one here, but that's after I've finished colouring it. I'm just using like fine liners to colour at the moment. I am debating if I want to colour the background in here or just stick it on as white. I feel like it would be very good with brown if the background was coloured in brown, but then I'm also like, oh, that's a lot of like going around. I could potentially pull out alcohol markers, but I'll have to see. I'll have to test if I colour with alcohol markers and it comes up to an edge where this fine liner is, if it will bleed or create interaction. So that's one thing that I want to test. If I can colour it with alcohol marker, then I can just pull out various browns. It'll be a great way to use up some browns as well. So still got to do that, but I've just been, this is sort of thing that I just pick away on where I might have a couple minutes. I just pull out a fine liner and colour in a section, like just a little picking away at it. So yeah, I got to finish colouring those, cut them out. Also, the other thing I want to test is if I go over the top of this with a gloss Mod Podge, particularly the glass jars. I'm kind of thinking I might do a matte seal anyway, just to protect. But then if I do a gloss layer on the glossy things, like all the jars and maybe like the honey, I think that could look quite cool to have that little bit of texture. But if it causes the pens to run, obviously I don't want to do that. But yeah, so still got to do all that, cut them out, and then because there'll be this big empty space on this side, originally I was going to cut and start writing this in and cut around this and like stick it in and collage it in. So that's why I did get this, like did print this out. But as you can see, the pinks aren't quite right because I changed my mind on the paper. Originally I was going to do more of this rosy pink, and then I found this more browny pink, and I was like, actually browny pink works better, and then I can tie in brown. You can kind of see where my brain's going. So that's not going to work for it anymore, but I can still handwrite it. I can still stamp it. I have some letter stickers. Like, there's still other options to put that in. And then I do also have some this is gonna crack up, but these are Werther's Originals candy wrappers. I like Werther's. I'm actually out. I need to grab some more, but I do like sucking on these. But it's quite a pretty gold, and I thought I can also chop this up into almost confetti and add that around the page, and that will bring in some metallic, some shine, but also use some literal candy wrappers on the candy page, which I think would be really fun. So yeah, this one, love how it's progressing. I haven't technically counted it as a whip, even though it clearly is a whip, but I also haven't touched the book, so I'm kind of cheating the system here because I didn't want to add all these down as whips when they are, you know, they are kind of. This is just, shh, I'm cheating. I make the rules. And then we have this page here because I also got inspired by this page. So to me, I looked at this and straight away I was like, I'm not going to carry on the pattern. I don't like the pattern. I don't like that idea. That just, no. But I did like this frame here and how it lines up with a circle. And to me, it kind of looks pond, like lily ponds and stuff like that. It's like, I could work with that. That's cool. So my idea for this one, I did print the other half, so I was experimenting. So my idea as I worked on it was I ended up using a Gansai Tambi and a bunch of shimmers and a bunch of different things. And you can see my chaos. Now, once this is trimmed up, it'll look a lot nicer. And then I want to go in with paint pens and gel pens and just color in parts of these details. I'm going to cut out this middle circle on both sides, and then under the middle circle I'm going to create worlds under the water. So this is like the surface of the pond, and then underneath will be the water surface. I think that's going to look really, really cool. And then I just need to find some way to, something for the edge. I don't know if I print out some water, like some water patterns that I can like cut up and turn into a border, or just some plain blue washi tape or something like that. That part I haven't quite worked out, but I have worked out the underwater part as well. So that's not here, but I have worked out what I'm going to do for there. I do also have these bits prepped just in case I wanted to maybe play around with that concept, or I could use these somewhere else. So we'll hold on to them. And when I cut out the middles, I'll hold on to the middles too, because you never know. But yeah, I think that's going to be really cool once it's done. Right now it's just a bit of watercolor on a piece of paper. But yeah, those are some of the progress in 30 days of creativity. As I said, it's not technically a whip on my list, but it is a whip. It's a lot of photocopies right now. But yeah, I'm really enjoying getting back into this. It's been a while since I've worked in here, so yeah. And then an actual whip on the list is Cat's Magical General Store by Moko. Now this one was meant to be a buddy with Ashley from Double A, Zoe from Zoe's, I want to say Colouring Corner, but I think it might be Cozy Colouring. Zoe's Cozy Colouring, I think it is. Sorry, I should have this written down. And then Jess from Colouring Bumblebee. I believe that was everyone that was in the group. This was in September, so I very clearly did not finish it, did not get there. It's sad because it was my first ever buddy with Ashley too, and I really do want a buddy with Ashley. I just didn't get there. But yeah, this is as far as I got with the page. I love my tree. I love this. This looks great. I'm very pleased with how it's progressed. But yeah, I just haven't progressed from there. But I love my tree. So yeah, I would like to do some more in here right now. This is just Inktense. I've only done one other page in the book, but I only used Inktense for that too. And I actually really love the Tokumeko series and how Inktense works in here, just working with Inktense. So I'll probably just finish it off with the Inktense. But yeah, absolutely love how it's progressing. Have my set little colour palette for the book, so I know how these two characters are coloured. I don't know if she reappears, so I don't know if I should track my colours for her. And then yeah, I can see lots of like browns and greens, so that'll carry on the browns and greens here. I might do these two characters because that'll introduce their colours, and then I can start using that to help balance around. Like I need to bring in a little bit of blue into some more elements around the page to tie in the birds. There is a little bit of blue and purple in the tree, but there's also purple in his coat, so that will help balance it too. So yeah, I've got a little bit of work to do, but I do love how it's progressing, so hoping to get some more work done on that one this month. Okay, creepy kawaii. This is by Larissa May Marinas. It is just a simple colouring book, but really, really fun. And yes, it's creepy, but it's also cute. And so it felt very appropriate for the season. I just did page 1 because it was a kitty. And I just thought it was cute. So yeah, this one I used alcohol markers, which I shaded with the alcohol markers. A little bit of a white gel pen, as well as some metallic pens. So there's a bit of like shimmery metallic on certain objects, and then a little bit of Mod Podge sparkle for the bow as well. And again, this one was all about what colours actually do I have that I could work with in my tub. So yeah, very, very simple colouring, but I love how it turned out. It just made me very happy. And I realised when I was looking at my colouring, I hadn't done a lot of like Halloween colouring, so I just wanted to do another one. So that was Creepy Kawaii. Fledgling Fairies. I did another one in here. I am now down to 3 pages left in this book. I am really hoping that I will get to that in November. I want to try and get at least 1 more page done, but it'd be really nice to get 3 done. Even if I get 1 or 2 done and then do 1 more in December, it'd be amazing to finish this book this year. We're so close. There's literally 3 pages to go. But the one that I did was the magical flute. So once again, we have Gansai Tambi watercolor for the background. And then I used alcohol markers to base everything on the page. I pulled out Polychromos and Pablo pencils to shade and add detail. There's a white gel pen to do the outline of her wings, which I then put some iridescent watercolor on. I also did drop some iridescent watercolor into the background and splattered some on top afterwards. And then I did also use some washi tape around the edge of this. I don't normally, like, I plan at the end to come in and clean up some of these edges. Where's an example? I say that, and then there's 2 that I have actually gone around the edges for. But some of these, like, would just look so much better if they were framed up. That's sort of the thing that I'm planning to do at the end, is just come in, clean up, and give the book a final, like, go over. Like here, well, it has got a bit of a frame with the stone, so it's not as messy, but it might look a bit better if the edge was framed up. I don't know, but this one I did frame up in washi tape because I was like, it needs a cleaner edge, it needs that differentiation. And I do actually really like that with the washi tape, and the washi tape really ties in. Like, it's a good color batch. So yeah, that is the Magic blue. This is, I don't even know if I said, this is Fledgling Fairy Special by Colouring Heaven, which is designs by Christine Karen. So yeah, if you weren't aware, if you didn't see my November plans video, I have 3 pages left in here: Grace Fairy, Moonchild Fae, and Odette. And I'm leaning towards Odette, but I can also see Moon Fae Child, especially if I just do the same thing. Even with Grace Fairy, if I just do Ganzai Tambi for the watercolor, like just do some background, granulate some colors in the background, and then come in and just shade on top. Makes it a lot easier. Alcohol markers to quickly base is also another option, but these ones have a lot of like plant splatter, so that's where I'm kind of thinking granulating could work. I don't know. I will decide when I get to those pages. But yeah, another one done of Fledgling Fairies. I believe my tracker says I'm now at 92% for that book in terms of completion. Secret Forest. This is by Anna Amelia. This is a new book for me this month, and oh my gosh, like, oh, this whole book is just adorable. Like, I really think I might need to, again, I say this knowing I have no money to spend right now, and I will not be spending any money right now, but yeah, I definitely want to get some more of her work because it's just so up my alley. And it was basically, as I was trying to finish pages in the month, I was like, I want to get back to this book, so I probably will pull this out again in November, just because it's so beautiful. So I just started with the first page, which is something I often do if I'm trying out a new book. And I just did this gorgeous little unicorn page. So we've got alcohol markers to base, and then I did use pencils to shade and some white gel pen. There's a little bit of Mod Podge sparkle because glitter. I think, did I use? Yeah, I did use some super golden markers too around their wings. But yeah, and I did add in like a little bit of back glow and stuff like that. Pretty simple colouring, like nothing too crazy inventive. I have seen some people do some amazing stuff in here with like lighting effects and reproduce things like on this front cover and stuff like that. So I would love to do some more of that too in here, but I just want to start off with just a easy, straightforward page and color as is, and just get a feel for the style. Like, I feel like you kind of need to do at least one to kind of feel out the style. So it's Secret Forest Coloring Book by Anna Amelia. And then we have Purrfect Moments, which unfortunately when this was on my stack of completed pages, I didn't realize the cover was bent back. So the cover got a bit hammered, but the book itself is fine. It's okay. So this is by Mason Nook. This is another new one this month. The whole thing is kitty cats. It's just so cool. It's kitty cats. It's kitty cats. It's kitty cats. So yeah, I also see myself pulling this one out this month. But I just did the first page, and of course I did a black kitty, because of course. I love how this one progressed. Like, I just really enjoyed myself with this one. So normally when I work in these books, I just put down a flat layer of alcohol marker and then I come in and pencil shade. But this time I actually worked with shading with the markers, and because of how little markers I have left, this can be a real challenge. So yeah, it was making it work with the colors that I had left. And I managed to make it work. I did end up chucking out a couple colors again, which is fine, because the point of this is to use up all those crusty old markers and chuck out all the dead and dying ones. So yeah, whole thing's done with alcohol markers and then a little bit of white gel pen to do lots of highlights and stuff like that. And there is a little bit of a sparkly marker. Just did a pattern on the bunting. But just really pleased with that one. And it was so much fun. And this is why I'm like, I need to get more alcohol markers because I want to do more like this. I just really enjoyed it. So I might just pick up a cheap set just to tie me over until hopefully if I can afford to pick up a cheap set. Again, fingers are tight right now, but I'll keep working what I got. It's not the worst thing in the world to use what I've got, to try and use it up, and it does force me to work in colour schemes that I'm not exactly comfortable with to make things work, like lots of browns and teals. Like I usually just like pink and purple and stuff like that, so it makes me think, it makes me work differently, which is good. And then you get cute pages like this, so it's not the worst thing in the world. So yeah, that's Purrfect Moments by Mason Nook, which I'm going to put at the bottom of the pile so this cover settles back down. And then Anonymous, who gifted me all these books, also gifted me Fuzzy Meowies and Fuzzy Meowies Free. So it's super, super cute. This is by Moji Doe. So we'll start with one. Yeah, not two, just one and free. So if you haven't seen these before, again, it's kitties, but it's kitties in movie scenes or TV scenes or different, like it's kitties as different characters. So like that's Jasmine and Aladdin from, you know, Disney's Aladdin. There was that Shrek. I was going to say that's Game of Thrones, but no, I think that's Avatar. There's a Game of Thrones one somewhere. I don't know all scenes, so that's like Frozen, Pirates of the Caribbean. And it does give you a list at the back here. I think it's at the back. These are bonus pages, I think. No, maybe it's at the front. Somewhere. Maybe it's in number 3 that they give you the list. I'm so professional. Must be just number 3 they give you the list. Okay. But anyway. I did this one here, which is A Nightmare Before Christmas, which of course feels incredibly appropriate given the season. So yeah, this is where I struggled with my yellow marker, but made it work. Also struggled with my purple and had to throw that one out, which is sad. So yeah, alcohol markers, and once again I was trying to shade with the alcohol markers to the best of my ability. But yeah, definitely need some more colours, but again I made it work because I was trying to go for that certain colour palette. And then I used paint pen and yellow to highlight certain things. It worked well for his coat, but I wish I had done white for the rest of the items. But again, we were experimenting. I did use white on the moon itself. But yeah, it does work well on his coat. I do like it there. And then because the background was really streaky because the purple marker was dying, I did put Mod Podge Sparkle over the background as well. Yeah, I really do like how that came together. I think it was cool. It was a fun one to colour, and again, very seasonally appropriate as well because, yeah. And then we have Fuzzy Meowies Free, just so you know I'm not crazy. There is a list somewhere. There. Told you there's a list. But yeah, absolutely stunning. And I did this one, which according to the list is Barbie. So, yeah. Poor Bee, Life in the Dream House. So they're all like cat puns. So I thought, okay, that one will be fun. And I knew I had a bright pink. So it's like, okay, we'll just do bright pink. I did, unfortunately, have some transfer from my hands. So there's a little bit of like green that is lightly dappled in there. But if you didn't know, you didn't know. I also had some blue markers dying up here. So I did my best to kind of smooth it out. But yeah, I had to sacrifice my blue marker there. I've been pushing it for as long as possible, so that had to go. The pink they originally did the frame as well also died on me, so that was another one that I had to get rid of. So yeah, covered up that with sparkle marker and covered up the clouds here with some sparkly marker and white gel pen, and tried to do the best I could with it. But I still think it's cute. I just love the kitties. It's so much fun to look at the kitties and try and figure out different color schemes, and yeah, so I probably should have swapped these colors around and done that. Feels more like classic Barbie hair color, and then just done a ginger cat, but that's okay. It's just a ginger Barbie. So that was my page in Fuzzy Meowies Free. And again, thank you to Anonymous for these lovely, lovely kitty books, because honestly I had so much fun colouring those, especially when I wasn't feeling well. Speaking of kitty books, A Million Kitties. This was another gift from Anonymous. Oh my gosh. I think this is my favourite Lulu Mayo. I adore it. It's just, I love colouring cats. I realise, like, I've always said I love colouring sea creatures, and I do, but I also really love colouring cats. Kitty cats. All the kitty cats. And so for this one, I actually coloured the first page. And I don't know why I was attracted to colour the first page, but I coloured the first page. And so I did this one in bed. This was the closest one I had to being finished in September. It was very, very close. I literally just had the super golden marker left to do on it. But I just didn't get there. So I almost had a completed page in September. But this one I just took my Color pencils and I had this book in bed, and every night before I went to bed, before I went to sleep, I'd just come in and I'd colour another couple little items. So I did take a lot of inspiration from the front cover for the kitty colours. I wasn't trying to be inventive. I just used their colours for the kitties, but I did change around some of the like background colours. I did try to keep it a little bit more neutral and cohesive. And then I used the super golden markers to go over the words and do all the shells and little details on the books and stuff like that. And I really like how that came together. That's like, I'm really pleased with that one. So yeah, that was my first page in here. I definitely can see myself doing a lot more in A Million Kitties, because honestly this book is adorable. Speaking of kitties, Neko Story of Precious Cats. I love this book, and I wish that I was sitting here and giving you a finished page. But I am not. I am giving you a whip. I had a feeling that I wasn't getting back to this month. I was aiming to at least get the basing finished, and my hope was to do the last little bit of basing last night after I finished another page, but the other page took me so long, and then I just wasn't in the mood to finish this off. And that's okay. I will just roll this over. I'm planning to carry on with this after I finish filming here today. So yeah, I do love how the spread is progressing. I'm very pleased with my color choices so far. It's why I haven't rushed to come back to this, because I want to make sure the colors that I add in will be balanced here. So yeah, I just need to finish basing off the characters, and then I can come in with the pencils. And it looks like a lot of work, but it's actually really quick once I get this base in, because the colors are placed, so it's just shading, and you can do whole sections at a time. Like, all the ground can be done at once, and the trees will use a lot of the similar colors, and then those similar colors will be pulled into the pumpkins, and then boom, it's all done. Like, it will come together really quickly once the basing is done. It's just deciding those colors and getting that base layer in. So far it's all Inktense. But yeah, really, really pleased with how it's progressing. And I also have a group that I run for Neko Story of Precious Cats, because this is one of my favorite books. So I have a little Instagram group where we choose a page for every 2 months, and we work through and complete the page. And I am going to insert a slideshow here of everyone in the group's page, because oh my gosh, it just blew me away. The group blows me away with how stunning their pages are. So that should be running now for y'all. So many people managed to knock this double out. I normally try to give 3 months if it's a double, but timing wise it worked out to only give 2 months, and so many people managed to complete a double, and just blown away. So many gorgeous pages. So yeah, that is a whip that is rolling over. I also, if you saw my November plans, I have one group page to catch up on, which is this washings bubble page. There's also, this is November December's page has been picked by the group, so I'd like to make a start on that potentially. And then because it's Alice and the Mad Tea Party is like a monthly hashtag for November. I mean, it's a pipe dream, but I'd love to. I love this page. So yeah, so much I want to do in this month, including finishing off that whip. So that'll be rolling over. Right, I have 2 books here where I did very similar things. So I'm just going to put these together. These are also very easy pages. And that is basically, I just did like a title page or a cover page, and just basically did background. But sometimes it's fun to do. So in Maria Trolle universe, oh no, so I have done an actual page in here. I love this page, absolutely stunning. But while I was doing all that work with Gansai Tambi, I had a little bit left over. This book was the first book I saw, and I was like, oh, that paper actually works really well with Gansai Tambi. Cool. And so I just chucked the colour down. It was me just using up some leftover granulating watercolour. I thought, why not? So I just put that all down, and then afterwards I came in with a super golden marker and just coloured in the butterflies. I might go over universe and just make that pop as well. But yeah, really not a lot here, but the page is done, you know? But it was just because I had the extra watercolour, so I was like, why not? Why not chuck it down? So, yeah. And then the Wicked Witch of Oz colouring book. This is by Tabrough. This is a new purchase this month. I have Dark Fairies by Tabrough, which I was in an Instagram group, but I can't find the chat in my Instagram, but I'm having issues with my Instagram at the moment, so I need to go back and have a look and check that the chat hasn't completely disappeared for me, because I can't seem to find the group at all, because I went to go and post that I got this book in there, and then I couldn't find the chat. So yeah, I don't know, but I'll figure that out later. It's just like, that's future Amy's problems. But yeah, I've got Dark Fairies by Tabrough, and it's absolutely stunning. And so I saw this, I knew this book was coming out. We've been talking about it for a while, and then I saw it was available locally. So it's like, I'm going to go and have a look at it in person. And oh my gosh, I love it. I feel like Dark Fairies is gorgeous, but it's a lot of pages where it's quite hard to figure out what's going on. And it feels like there's still some pages that have that same vibe as Dark Fairies, but also there is more where it is just about the character, and yeah, there's space in this one. I feel like I can breathe at certain points in this one, which is a weird way to describe it, but it's the only way I can think to describe it. So it's absolutely stunning, and I'm super excited to get in here and do an actual page. But the page I did was the introduction page. And this was just literally because I had some shimmery watercolor that was like, I wonder what this looks like. And so I just put it down. That was it. I was using some shimmery watercolor. So I was like, well, the greens and the browns will make a good color combo. So that's what I did. I pulled out the greens and the browns and used that all over the page. And then once that was dry, I was like, cool, I'll just grab super golden markers and color in the framework. It definitely needs to be bordered, and then it will really pop as well. But I don't know if I do that black or a different color. I probably should have done this one at the same time, but I didn't want to have to color all of this. But I probably should pull it across and do the same idea there, because that would be logical. I probably won't. I'll probably regret that in the future. So yeah, just a real easy page in The Wicked Witch of Oz by Tabrough, but great way to test paper, and you know, fun 2-minute coloring job. Sometimes you need that. All right, Bunnies and Dragons. Honestly, oh my gosh, this book is adorable. Kind of want to color the entire book. I feel like this is a book that I just want to colour in every month. So, so cute. And so I did the reading nook page. And I unfortunately had a little bit of a disaster on the page. So this one I did in Inktense. It took way too long for my brain. So Inktense to colour the whole page. And then I think there's a little bit of like a metallic marker in here as well, but you can't really see it too much. Because then I had the idea with this being a window scene. I was like, oh, I should pull out my gloss medium. The gloss that turns it super, super glossy and make it like it's glass. And that would be a really fun effect. And it would look like, you know, you're looking at them through a window. And so I pulled out the liquid gloss and I put it on and I was like, yes, very happy with it. And I knew from the past that I needed to leave it somewhere to dry and not move it. And so I put it where I thought it was flat and I was like, perfect. Went to bed. Came back in the morning and discovered it wasn't exactly flat and it had actually run off to the side. And I was so gutted because without that area, like, I love the gloss. I love the texture of the window and having that shine reflect. Yeah, it popped out to the side. So I tried to like see if I could maybe pop it off or break it off, but unfortunately it does lift the paper. So this is not like I could just cut it off or peel it off without ruining what's underneath. I did debate cutting it off and then recoloring what's under here, but it's going to be a different texture. I was like, you know what, I'll just leave it. I'll just leave it, and you just have to pretend or look at it like this. So I was absolutely gutted about that happened, but hey, you know, you can't do anything about it, so it is what it is, and I freaking love this when I don't look at that. Oh, but yeah, so sad. But that's okay. We'll do more beautiful work in this book, and then it'll just be oh yeah, that's the book. That's the page where that happened. I just noticed these like wintry scenes. So yeah, I think I haven't got this planned for November, but I think I would like to do another one in here. I really think I would colour this whole book because honestly, it's so cute. So it's Bunnies and Dragons by Heather Gross. And then another cute book is Lulu's House of Wonder by Lulu Mayo. Another cute one that I can see doing lots and lots in. So many cute books this month. And I've seen quite a few different pages from different people in here and just so stunning. Seen a few people do this one. It's so cute. But I did this one here. So for this one, I used Inktense to base, and then I used Polychromos pencils to shade on top, and then some various gel markers, like there's a bit of Super Golden, there's some other metallic gel markers, just to do some little details, and like white gel pens or paint pens to highlight, and then Mod Podge Sparkle on all the wings and little details on her outfit. Yeah, I love, love, love how this came together. I think it's just so cute. So, so cute. Now, I've said that a lot, but honestly, yeah. So, yeah, I think I definitely want to do some more. I did think about adding in a background too, or doing something for the background, but I was like, no, I actually really like the idea of just popping it on the white. I might regret that, or I might change my mind in time and go, no, we need more color. But there's so many like full pages here that the pages with the white are quite a nice little breath of air. So yeah, but that's Lulu's House of Wonder, which again I want to do some more in. Oh, crack of the back. I have Romantasy by Anna Yarden. I believe it's also called or True Love, or it's got a different name for the American version as opposed to the UK version, which is the version we get here in Aotearoa. But yeah, it's called Romantasy in the LOM version, which is the UK version. And it's absolutely stunning. Like, Anna Yarden's work is gorgeous, but then to throw in the Romantasy theme, oh, again, I can see so many pages being coloured in here, and I also freaking love this front cover image. But I got the book, and I had to start with Bat Boy. Of course I had to start with Bat Boy. I love colouring Bat Boys. So this page is called Whispers of a Fallen Rose. So straight away I knew I wanted to do the sky purple, and then I thought it would be really fun to play with that classic light and dark motif. So I was like, okay, let's do her in really light clothes, and then let's do him really, really dark. And because I knew I wanted to do lots of purples and browns, I thought that would be quite fun to contrast with her and do pinks and greens, and just trying to play with their opposites. The dress is absolutely ridiculous, but I looked at this and all I could think of was there was a Barbie dress that was like this. Like, don't know if you'll remember it, but it's white with the pink and the green. It's a Barbie dress, and I saw this and it just reminded me of that Barbie dress so specifically. So I was like, I'm gonna do it like the white, pink, and green of the Barbie dress. So the whole thing has been based in water-based markers, and then it has been shaded on the top with Prismacolor, and then lots of metallic paint pens and gel pens for some little details, like all her jewelry and like the lace trim on the gloves and all his jewelry, and little details like that. And I did debate going over the background with Mod Podge Sparkle to help even out a bit of this background, because it is a bit streaky, but also make the background a little bit more solid. But I don't think that there, and I don't want to paint around the trees. Like, I couldn't be bothered doing that. And I was like, no, I don't think it actually needs the glitter. I think I'm happy with it as is. I just have to hold it a certain way so you don't get the Prismacolor shine. But yeah, I really, really love how it came together in the end, especially because of how I envisioned it when I first saw it. And yeah, definitely have a few more in here that I would like to do, because it's a gorgeous book. Look, we still have another Bat Boy. Yeah, absolutely stunning. Love, love, love. So if you have this book and you want to buddy with it at some stage, probably won't be till next year, but I think it's gorgeous, and I can see doing a lot more in Romantasy by Anna Yarden. Kirby Roseanne's my favorite illustrator. So I did a page in Phantomorphia, and this is because I saw in Erica by Elm Colours Weekend Whip video of her working on this page, and it's like, oh, that's a really cool page. And so I went and pulled out the page and started working on it. So yeah, I used the Ganzo Tambi granulating watercolors in the background. And then I used a fine liner black pen to colour in all the wing. And then just, I think it was Color pencils to colour in all these little elements on the page and the bat himself. And then I got some gold iridescent watercolor, and I purposely put some over these little bits here, but also just splattered it on top. A little bit of white paint pen. Yeah, this is another one where it was just really good to just, when I was trying to, like at night, because a lot of this was done in September, it just wasn't finished off. But I'd come here with the fine liner and just sit there and just colour in another little section. And because I was zoning out so much in September, this was just the perfect when I could focused enough to do a little bit of colouring, but I didn't want to think. This was absolutely perfect. So really, really enjoyed the page. And thank you so much, Erica, for showing it, because I wouldn't have thought to pull this one out otherwise without you showing it in your weekend whip. Then I was like, oh yeah. So yeah, that was in Phantomorphia by Kirby Rosans. And then the other Kirby that I did this month, which, oh, I am so happy to have this one finished off. Gorgeous Alien Worlds. And I have done this page here. I am so pleased with how this came together. So this is another Prismacolor one, so hopefully the shine isn't too bad. But yeah, I am very pleased to have finally completed this page and finally got my first page done in the techie future world planet. So for this planet here, because as I work through this book, I like to work my planets cohesively. So I have my colors written down. So if you're curious, it's all Prismacolor. Here is the colors that I used on the page. You can stop and screenshot it. But yeah, those are all the numbers of the Prismacolors. And my goal was to create a cyberpunk neon type landscape for this planet. So yeah, this was the first page of the planet that I did, and I very much feel like I've achieved what I wanted to achieve, the look I was going for. Very pleased with how it came together. Typing's done with Prismacolor, no basing, no anything. The only thing that's been added on is a white paint pen to help get some highlights and light areas. But yeah, Prismacolor, a white paint pen. No glitter, which is interesting given the nature of how I color, but also my little character in this book, because I'm part of the Alien Worlds Data Explorer group where we have like Space Explorer names. So my Space Explorer is Admiral Amy of the Galactic Glitter Puff, and the idea is my mission is to go out and to find the glitteriest, sparkliest, specialist nature of each individual planet. And this planet so far does not have glitter, and I don't see myself doing glitter. So yeah, I might do glitter on the background of this one just to keep the glitter cohesive, but I think for this planet I'm not going to do glitter, which is really, really intriguing for me. But I do love playing with light, and this planet is about the light rather than the glitter. So I think it's okay because we're doing this neon, and this planet's all about the neon. So now I have glittery planets coming up, it's fine. So yeah, absolutely so pleased with this one. My plan in November is to go on with this one, but I will have to wait until I order more pencils because most of these are getting very, very small, and I need a lot of pencils. I mean, I've got this big double page spread. Some of the colors will need to tie into this one. I've got this one that will definitely use all the colors, and this one will use a bunch of the colors as well. Like, I need more of those colors. So, but again, I just don't think that may not be in the budget this month. I don't know. I'm waiting to see if there's also a Black Friday sale at the one art store in New Zealand that sells these pencils. So, fingers crossed. But yeah, hopefully this month we can get some more, and then I can carry on, because I'm really excited to carry on with this planet and get some more done. Oh, there's also this one that will need pencils as well. So many. But yeah, that is my page in Alien Worlds by Kirby Rosans, which so much work is being done in there. Like, that's another book that we're making a good dent into. And then the last one. Oh, my poor throat. The last book I have to show you is a new book that I have worked in, and that is Fantastic Worlds by Alessandra Fusi. This book, oh my gosh, if you love stunning double page spreads, this book is for you. Every single page in this book is a double. It is just, and Alessandra Fusi's characters, like, I adore this book. Again, this is another one that I want to do a lot more in and can see myself doing a lot more in. So, absolutely stunning book. If you love big detailed doubles, this book's for you. If you don't like big detailed doubles, that's also okay. This is my favorite book. This one so much. But yeah, if you're not a fan of big detailed doubles, also fine. But yeah, stunning, stunning. And I did this one here. This is the one that I was scrambling to finish on Halloween. And I'm so glad I did. Why I chose the page with giant flowers when I'm not a big flower colorist, I don't know. But I'm so glad it's done. And yeah, I actually really love how this came together. So for this one, I used Inktense to base. The background is also Inktense, which I kind of spread the color out, as you can see. And then I used Polychromos to shade. There's a little bit of like a white gel pen for some highlights and stuff like that. There is Super Golden Marker, which I used around the outside of the background swishies. And the inside has been filled with the Gansai Tambi gold set. I mixed all the different golds. I was basically playing around with the golds because I was also gifted that by Anonymous this month, so thank you. So I use that to paint in these sections. So the background's super, super metallic. I then also put the Nebula glitter gel by Stickles in the background as well, so it's got a little bit of glitter, and then occasionally you'll see like a little star in the background as well, so kind of just dabbled that in on the background. I love how that came together. And the wings of all the bees and of the little fey creature here, I did put a little bit of iridescent watercolor so the wings have a little shine to it. I did think about going around the wings with white, but you kind of lose them because it's so light around it, so I didn't do that. But I did go over her wings with a super golden marker and add in those sort of bronze lines. And then I also have like these brush glittery metallic paint pens from Kmart, and so I use those on the edges of all the feathery bits of her to add a little bit of shine there. So yeah, lots of shine, lots of shimmer. Love how it came together, and I'm just so proud of myself for pushing through yesterday and getting all these flowers done, because I did all that in a day. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to push through and do it, and I did it, and I'm glad because I love how it's finished. But my god, flowers when you're not in the mood. But we did it, and that was the main thing. So yeah, that was my big double page spread in Fantastic Worlds by Alessandra Fusi, which absolutely love this book as well. So yeah, that is everything that I coloured over the month of primarily October, but a lot of them were started in September. So yeah, but yeah, primarily October. So yeah, that was all 27 pages from the month. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already seen my November plans, a video is out now. Hopefully we will have even more of a productive month and we'll get lots and lots of colouring done, but also we're going with the flow. I've got a lot planned though. My buddy list for next month is absolutely ridiculous, but I'm excited. I can't wait. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I would love to hear from you down below as to what page was your favourite, and if you have any questions or anything you'd like to see more of. I've had a lot of requests about Alien Worlds on how I did the neon and if I would be willing to show that process. I still don't know how to explain it, but I will look into it and contemplate it. But yeah, that is everything. Thank you so much for watching. All the aloha to you all. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. Take care, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye!